So, all you scared to death Negroes, just sit down. Don't you come out to defend our enemy. You sit down and you shut up and tell your master to come on out and deal with it.
So we're gonna move on to the program because I know everyone's like sitting on their hands talking about let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff. Praise be to Allah. I'm gonna get to the good stuff and introduce to you Sister Mecca. I'm gonna give it to you to bring us to the next point of this summit.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sister Odetta. I want to start this my portion out with a quote by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. This is the time of your separation from them. And God wants to give you a land of your own as the cornerstone of the kingdom of God. The stone that all the builders rejected is to become the headstone of the corner. That's you. That's your future, and they know it. Today, I want to give you just a brief introduction of what the points of contention are. The students are given points of contention to study, analyze, and defend with the truth. You may ask, what is a point of contention? A point of contention is a thought or idea that people are arguing over. The questions that the students are given are relevant to the time that we are living in today. The students are put into teams and are given a few weeks to prepare their defense. And I just want to say that we are extremely proud of the work and efforts these students put into defending the points of contention. With many of them, with everything that's happening today, having to attend school virtually, they have jobs and internships, they still manage to be a part of the Demand for Separation Summit 3. And for that, we are beyond grateful because without them, there would not be a summit. So we just thank them and we pray that Allah would bless them in all that they do because the sacrifices they are making and knowing that the future is theirs. So we are grateful for these students and not just for Summit 3, we're grateful for all the students that participated in Summit 1, Summit 2, and this summit. So I will briefly give you an example of some of the questions that the students were given at Summit 2 that took place in July, and it was phenomenal. So this is one of the questions that they were given. There's no need for talk about separation with all the unified efforts to bring this country together. So the students were given that question and they had to defend it and they went in on it. And we were ecstatic about how they came up with all the research that they did, all the things that they did to make us believe and know, let the world know that what we have in the nation, no one can compare to. The truth that we have, no one can compare. That you cannot come against us with what we have. So they made you believe that. Point number 2. This is their second question they were given. What will the college students be able to offer after graduation? Will you be like the talented 10th did with W.E.B. Du Bois? Forget that you were supposed to give back? That question fired the students up. They did a fantastic job defending the teachings of the Nation of Islam. And one thing I have to say about our students is that they're not afraid. This is a fearless generation. And when it's time to stand up and defend, these students are ready and they are willing to do whatever it has to do on their college campuses to defend the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and to defend the Nation of Islam. And so we are just so very proud of them. And so before we continue, we would like to give you a little peek of what the students did at Summit number 2 so you can get excited about what you are in for today. Let's roll the clip.
The white race does not have a good history of getting along with any race, not even themselves. When they encountered black people in Africa, they made slaves out of them and killed millions. When they encountered the Native Americans, they exploited their kindness and made slaves out of them.
If we want the system to change, we must have our own system.
The only thing that has changed is the definition. Racism is the same, it's like repetition. George Floyd is the name of the man who was lynched. Tamir Rice paid the price of being a threat in your eyes. Ahmaud Arbery was gunned down while staying in his own lane. Y'all are removing racist symbols. We're not speaking the same. We want racist systems out of the game.
The time is fast approaching when we will have to do for self with the consequences.
Nowadays, we will not be fooled.
We were given the guidance of God himself in the person of Master Farad Muhammad and through the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Black people are 1.3 times more likely to die at the hands of police officers than their white counterparts.
The only solution is separation.
I'm sure y'all are wondering, all this talk of separation, are y'all on talk or are y'all about that action? In the Nation of Islam, we are taught that our word is bond.
There's a flame that burns strong in all of us. So if you're not with the program, move out of the way.
Now, wasn't that exciting? Let's get ready. So now I would like to turn it over to Sister Odetta.
Look at them. They're pumped up. They're pumped up. Let me see them hands. Pump yourself up. Pump your team up. Because it's time to rumble. So at this time, Sister Nicola is going to place you all in your classroom so y'all can do the final. All right, now we got this with your team. All right, Sister Nicola, if you can start putting them in their classrooms or their break rooms, whatever it's called, as we talk about y'all until you come back. How about that? Praise be to Allah. So Sister Nicola, I'm not sure if you want to go ahead through also the rules of engagement, but for those who are listening as she's doing what she's doing, the students are going to be placed in rooms for the next 5 minutes so that they can get their little bubbles out of their tummy and all the things that happens as a result of being a presenter. But all praise is due to Allah. While they're there, we want for you all to hear what's going to happen. Number one, there's going to be some voting for the teams that we feel are the best team presentations. So with the points of contention, and Sister Mecca has defined for you all, there's going to be 3 categories of judging that Sister Nicola is going to put on the screen. So we need for you all to pay close attention to these 3 categories for judging 4 teams. You will be judging them on their presentation, which means their teamwork, their unity, their collaboration. Did it look like they did this as a working team? And Sister Mecca and Sister Anita can testify that they've been meeting as teams. So let's see who does the best in their collaborative work. The content, we want to hear some actual facts. And we've told them that quoting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is very important when talking about categories of judging. Those will be the categories for judging the 4 teams. And as they prepare, we wanted to highlight one of the most beautiful ministries, in my opinion, of any nation, and that is the Ministry of Arts and Culture. I heard brother, our editor of the Final Call newspaper, say one time that a nation is judged by its Ministry of Arts and Culture because it says to the people that are looking on the outside that the people are happy and that they're enjoying each other's fellowship. And isn't that what we want out of our nation's experience? To be happy and to be dancing with each other and singing with each other and expressing ourselves with each other. And so today we have this beautiful sister with us, Sister Zodi, who is in fact one of our registered sisters in the Nation of Islam, a talented artist. And when I spoke with Sister Zodi says to me, "Sister, I'm working on doing my studio thing so I can do it in my own home." She's taking this ministry on her own. She understands the program. So let us give a round of applause to Sister Zodi and this talent that she's going to share with us today. Sister Zodi, it's all yours, my beautiful sister.
Praise be to Allah. I just would like to open up in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I bear witness there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. And I would like to greet everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I would like to thank Sister Odetta and the whole team for asking me to be a part of such an event. It truly is an honor and a pleasure to lend my talents and gifts to really glorify Allah. I want to say that the song that I have chosen today is The Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston. And I chose that thinking about the theme, demand for separation. And in order for us to get in that state of mind, we have to get acquainted with and accept the greatest love of all, which is the love of God, love of self, and kind. And there are some words in the song that made me think about what this is all about and what everybody has been saying as far as equipping the college students, you know, to separate from this world. And, you know, that the college students, the youth are the future. So we have to really do our best to teach them well and let them lead the way. So without further ado, I will get into the song. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone to fulfill my need. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on you. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to. I decided long ago never to walk in anyone's shadows. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe. No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Oh, yeah. Learning to love yourself, it is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of for a lonely place. Find your strength in
Allah. Everybody go on unmute. Thank you, Sister Zodi. That was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. May Allah bless your tonsils and your voice and your voice box so that you can.
Oh, praises due to Allah. Thank you.
Praise be to Allah. Let's give her another round of applause.
Thank you.
Sister Jody, I had that quote in my high school picture. That was one of my quotes. So if you see my little afro, it says, "Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all." That's what I had.
It's so true. Praise be to Allah.
So we're going to keep it moving. Thank you again, Sister Zodi. I know that we have, in fact, Sister Nicole, are you bringing the students back? We do.
Yes, ma'am, they're back.
We want to show the greatest love of all and a clip from what should be all of the energy that will give the students preparation to be ready for these points of contention. Sister Nicola, can we hear from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? Listen up, students.
In closing, as people, where do we go from here? More specifically, what role should the talented 10th or the formally educated play in supporting HBCUs?
Good question. You all have asked such wonderful questions. This is your head. It's connected to your body by the neck. But this sees, hears, smells, tastes, feels, thinks for the body. The talented 10th means nothing unless that talented 10th is connected to the masses of our people. Why did mama send you to school? Why did grandma sacrifice? Why do people sacrifice so that you could have an education, so that you could come out of college and not say to your less fortunate brother or sister, I got it, you got it to get. No, I got it so I can serve you better. The Master, Jesus, said, I came not into the world to be ministered unto. I came into the world to minister. And then he said, he who would be greatest among you, let him be your servant. When you know, you are responsible for the ignorant who don't know. And our duty coming out of college with a degree that is meaningful means that we're in a position now to stop going to the enemy or the slave master's children and saying, look, give me a job. And if you don't give me a job, I'm going to picket your business. This is a white man. He got to look out for his own kind. There are millions of white people out of work today. So if they can create a job, who do you think is going to get it first? You or me or his own people? So when you are educated, you don't go asking somebody to do that for you. Look in nature. Have you seen any black birds picketing a white bird for worms? Come on. Everything in nature goes after what in nature will feed it, clothe it, maintain it. That's your duty. So you can't tell me you're educated and then come out of school and beg somebody for a job. We come out, we create jobs. We use this genius that we have and start opening up factories and providing our people with what they need. We'll go into it more tonight. But that's the way forward from here. Not begging, producing.
Praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah. The greatest love of all. Minister Louis Farrakhan. Sorry, I had to say it. Sister Mecca?
Yes, ma'am. Now we're getting ready to introduce our teams to you. Our teams that have worked so hard and to defend today. And so first, I would like for Sister Anita to introduce Team 1 and Team 2.
Yes, ma'am, Sister Becca. I was just listening to the words of the minister. There is nothing more beautiful than to hear the message and the divine instructions from our leader, teacher, and guide, Minister Louis Farrakhan. I will introduce our first two teams, their members, and the colleges they attend. Audience, please pay careful attention to the awesome names and the attributes each team has named themselves, and then later their response to each point of contention. Team 1, Azarak, meaning blue, B-L-U-E. Brave leaders under Elijah. Team lead is Khalid Muhammad, and he's from Hampton University. Shafi Muhammad, Jackson State University. Naja Muhammad, Clayton State University. Amaya Muhammad, Clayton State University. And for Team 2, the Chosen Generation. Team lead, Alisa Hall, Tuskegee University. Hanif Muhammad, Jackson State University. Abdul Kui Muhammad, Muhammad's University. Let's give these students a well round of applause.
Now we're going to introduce you to Team 3 and 4. Team 3, Bara'at The Immunity. We have Sister Sanalis Muhammad. We have Sister Sajda Muhammad. And Sanalis Muhammad attends Benedict College. Sajda Muhammad attends Chattahoochee Technical College. We have the team lead, Musai Muhammad, who attends Tuskegee University, and Abdullah Muhammad, who attends University of Illinois. Now we're going to move on to Team 4. Team 4, G.I.F, Gods in Flesh. We have team lead, Jasmine Muhammad, who attends Clayton State University. Sabria Muhammad, who attends Georgia State University. Ishmael Muhammad, who attends Georgia State University. And Taqwi Muhammad, who attends Tennessee State University. Let's give all of our teams a wonderful applaud and a prayer because we know they are about to bring it. So let's go, teams.
So, Sister Nicola, again, the basis of all of this for those who are our guests today is found on points of what the Muslims want and what the Muslims believe. And so we wanted to read so that it can become a part of your being, that you understand why this is all happening. It comes from the Messenger's program of what the Muslims want, number 4. And it reads, we want our people in America whose parents and grandparents were the descendants of slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own, either on this continent or elsewhere. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to provide such land and that the area be fertile and minerally rich. We believe that our former slave masters are obligated to maintain and supply our needs in this separate state or territory for the next 20 to 25 years until we are able to produce and supply our own needs. Since we cannot get along with them in peace and equality, after giving them 400 years of our sweat and blood and receiving in return some of the worst treatment human beings have ever experienced, we believe our contribution to this land and the suffering forced upon us by white America justifies our demand for complete separation in a state or territory of our own. Sister Mecca, Sister Anita, you may begin.
Of course, our teams are strong. They're prepared really well. And so I will read the point of contention to the teams. You have 3 minutes to respond. And teams, if you hear a buzzer, a bell, or someone stating time, Please stop. Point of contention number 1. Why talk separation when the Democratic Party is working so hard to get rid of Trump? You know it is because Black folks did not vote that Trump is in office. Our parents and grandparents who were descendants of slaves fought and died for us to have the right to vote, not separate.
My name is Mr. Jones, and I got a question for Brother Khalid, Brother Shafi, Sister Maya, and Sister Naja. Me personally, I think Biden and Trump are both great. I don't even care who in office, but y'all Muslim folk always got something to say. So can you please enlighten me on what the solution is to this problem that we got?
Well, Brother Jones, let me put it to you like this. The United States government prides themselves on being Christians and followers of Christ, even going so far as to put their hands on the Bible when they are sworn into office. But how can they proclaim that when the golden rule of Christianity is to do unto others as you would have done unto you? You have killed out millions of Native Americans, kidnapped a whole people out of Africa to be made slaves, and dropped atomic and nuclear bombs in numerous countries. So, repeatedly, voting a politician into an obviously corrupt system and hoping for change is a definition of insanity.
Well, Mr. Jones, the system of white supremacy corrupts all of the systems in America, the political, educational, cultural, economical, and spiritual system. Therefore, voting or running for office will not change anything because the system is broken. It cannot be fixed. It was not run on the basis of freedom, justice, and equality. It was run on the basis of lying, murdering, and stealing. Is that type of system you want to live in? Therefore, God said in Revelations, "Behold, I make all things new." This system is going down because America has to pay for our sins. Either we can get our own and separate or go down with it.
Well, Mr. Jones, it's not because of Trump or the Democrats that we've been catching the hell that we've been catching. We've been dealing with this before Trump ever got into office. Keisha Lance Bottoms, the mayor of Atlanta, has a political position, but it doesn't matter your position in this current system that we are living under. We've even had the highest position in politics with our president, Barack Obama, but nothing came out of that for us as Black people. Now, it's not because we didn't go to the polls that Trump is in the White House now. Hillary did win the popular vote, right? So, like, tell me why isn't she in office? The reason for that is because this is not a system of the people, for the people, or by the people. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad said it best. The best and only solution is to separate.
Right, Mr. Jones, and let's talk about this 15th Amendment. So we were given the right to vote, but for who? We only have to choose between two of the most corrupted options, a Democrat and a Republican. What have they done for us Black people in America for the past 2 decades? You have Barack in the White House, but what you did not see is Satan's wicked hands that guided him. But Black men in office cannot produce change. What makes you think 2 white men in office will make it even better? Satan's hands will guide whoever is in office. I'll leave you with this. In the Bible and Revelations, God sentences this system to death. Do you really want to work so hard to get Trump out of a system that is sentenced to death by God himself? Mic drop.
All praises due to Allah. Once again, family, that was Team Aswap. Team 1, Team Aswap. Job well done. Next team, Team 2, the chosen generation. Are you ready? Begin.
Regardless of who is in the office, the Democrats or the Republicans, we will not reap the benefit of their term. In the Fall of America, Chapter 8, it says, "Our vote is strong and powerful only when the white man can use it to get in office over his white opponent." After the election and the victory, there are very few favors that come out of his office to the Black voters who helped and aided him in getting in the office. Why? Because he does not owe the Black vote anything as long as he has to feed, clothe, and shelter him. The Republican Party openly opposes Black people. So what do? We stay locked up in this abusive relationship with the Democrats. And just like that, they get our votes again. Continuing in the Fall of America, Chapter 8, it further says, how much good have the two parties, Republican and Democrat, done for us for the last century in the way of freedom, justice, and equality? Regardless of what party wins, the die is always set against us, the Black people in America. On these grounds of fallen promises, we need a place on this earth to call our own. Do for self and be the change we desire to see.
Do not insult our intelligence like that. Master Farad Muhammad already taught us that we used to love you because you gave us nothing. We voted for years and are in the worst condition in 2020 than we ever were in chattel slavery. It's easy to understand how votes can be tampered with, especially following the international scandal of 2016, wherein current President Trump is accused and brought up on charges of meddling with votes and conspiring with Russia to do so. The worst part is even with the aid of technology and foreign powers, the devil is not only going the extra mile, but he's doing it to trick his own people into submission. When it comes to us, they outright don't give a damn. Under Bush, we got the 3 strikes law. Under Obama, we saw the rise of police shootings involving unarmed black men, women, and our children. And now under Trump, the cover is taken completely off to reveal America's true identity. Don't insult our intelligence. The popular vote is merely a courtesy or a good gesture, truthfully used to gauge the identity and wants of the Americans for what you want. Then they dangle the agenda in front of us to get what they want, always promising a future that never comes as long as we provide for them now. So do not insult our intelligence. Black people suffered a long time. Before the bigot Trump, we just won't suffer anymore.
Our ancestors fought to change the oppressed condition of our people. The right to vote was just one step in the many they took for this change. We took one step forward, but took half a step back because of the fruitless power voting has. The Electoral College was put in place by a broken system. The entire practice is organized around a system of tyranny. The system is broken because it was founded on racism and prejudice. Because of how the system was built, one cannot fix it. We must separate to make our own system. Again, our ancestors did not just fight for the right to vote, they fought for the overall betterment of our people. If separating will help our people, which it will, then we should, especially for our ancestors. Insane.
All right, thank you, Team 1 and Team 2. Fabulous job. Now we're gonna move on to Team 3. You may go.
The Democratic Party is not moving for Black people, and Trump is not our only problem. You can't put all of our issues into the context of politics. If you could, Black people would already be free. Our people have relied and put our vote into the Democratic Party since 1920, and have never seen any real change in return. Our situation that persists until today isn't Trump's fault. It's the fault of the system that gave us the option of Democrat or Republican in the first place.
Let us not be mistaken for the fact that the powers that run against us are the same powers that drove President Trump towards office. Voter suppression is a great struggle that Black people have to endure, and we don't even understand how much our voting opportunities are skewed. Therefore, we have never been granted a true opportunity to use our total power in political conversations nor action. Although we have the option to vote, believing that we can elect someone in America who is finally going to change it for the betterment of our people is a dream that we have to wake up from. The support of our enemies is not and should never be expected.
Exactly. There's been a lack of hope and a lack of trust for our people, for the political system. Our people have fought long and hard for the right to vote. And when we do, we still find no real change. There's been at most 2 times that we may have seen a spark of hope for the betterment of our people. It was let down both times when we acquired the person we voted for. First instance, we had Bill Clinton, who we disgracefully called our first Black president, who aided in the demise of our people with the 3 strikes law that he set in place to facilitate the mass incarceration issue. Then we had the first real Black president, Obama, who did nothing of good with a lasting effect. Nonetheless, let's say we voted Trump out and Hillary in. She still had no aspirations whatsoever to upend the conditions of Black people, because she herself was an advocate for systems that not even stagnates, but prohibits the development and liberation of Black people. We aren't the same before Obama was the president in office who were worse off. To think that somebody else outside of our people would care about us more than one of our own is blatantly absurd.
When we look at the initial reason why our grandparents fought for the right to vote, we see that they were fighting for the basic rights that denied them of those so-called luxuries. People could say that nowadays it is a little bit more easier to obtain those basic human rights, but none of that matters if we are still getting killed on a daily basis. We must address the problem at hand. We have lived amongst our open enemy for 400 years, and not one of those years have we seen justice given to Black people. We have wide forces at a table when we have the tools and foundation to make a stronger one that has had a lasting effect on us for the last 4. As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad stated in What the Muslims Want, point number 2, we want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, regardless of creed or class or color. Our grandparents will want us to live peacefully amongst our own people, not trying to integrate into a divided house. That's it.
Great job, team 3. Yes, team 3. Next, we're gonna have team 4. Gods in flesh. You may
Gods in flesh will answer the following point in the form of a.
Yo, election season is around the corner. Time for the Democrats to take back over and get rid of this Halloween monster of a president, right?
Nah.
What? What you mean? Y'all not Democratic?
Why would we vote for a system that doesn't do nothing for us?
Exactly. If you look into the Democratic Party's history, it is clear that they have never been for Black people.
What? How so?
It's commonly known that back in the day, the Democrats were the main supporters of slavery, lynching, and manifest destiny. Blacks actually used to vote Republican until Lyndon B. Johnson thought us Negroes were getting uppity and wanted to slow us down. He said, and I quote, "I'll have these niggers voting Democratic for the next 200 years. Now we're voting Democratic, and we're still crying out for freedom, justice, and equality."
Man, it's because of people like you that Trump got into office in the first place. If you want change to happen, you have to vote. Your vote matters.
Not really. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said during his 2017 Saviors Day address, they never expected Trump to win, but he went against all the odds because God put him there to dismantle this house. This makes sense if you look at the fact that 40% of voters voted for Clinton in the popular vote, whereas only 46% of voters voted for Trump, and 91% of voters voted for Clinton.
And that number would have been higher if the government wasn't so shady. The Supreme Court ruling in the Shelby County versus Holder case opened the door to racial discrimination at every juncture of the electoral process. The ruling made voting super confusing and less accessible by drastically decreasing the amount of polling places in Black communities, and even changing polling places last minute without any prior notice.
And if you look at the stats and compare previous elections to the 2016 election, excluding the Obama election as an outlier due to the abnormally high Black voter turnout, the percentage of Black voters only changed 0.4%, meaning the amount of Black people that voted before is basically the same as the amount of Black people that voted in 2016.
Look, I don't think you get it. Our grandparents died for us to vote, not to separate.
Excuse me, sis? Our grandparents died for us to have, sorry. Let me keep going.
You got it.
Sorry, I lost my point. Excuse me, sis? Our grandparents died to be treated, our grandparents died to be treated like humans, not just so we could vote for our white next leader. It's just like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in Message to the Black Man, that they slashed the backs of our grandparents, shut us down in the streets, went into our grandmothers and had children by them. And then they had to call Cassidy to put their own children on the block for sale. Even today, these are the cases of there are cases of white police officers raping our sisters and killing our brothers that get swept under the rug. This should show us that we should separate.
You know what? I'm starting to see why you think this system is built on white supremacist policies that are continuing to oppress us. I actually remember reading about some recent gerrymandering cases like Shapiro versus McManus and Gill versus Whitford, and I thought that showed how Black people aren't being properly given an equal political chance. It makes sense that even if we do vote and get Trump out of office, we could still be in the same predicament that we're in now.
Good job. Praise be to Allah. All right. That was another team, right?
That was it. Team 4. That was it.
That was team 4. Praise be to Allah. So where are we? We need to first do the
poll. We have to do the poll.
So Sister Nicola, go ahead, take it from here. All of our listening viewers, we are going to be voting.
Go ahead, Sister Odetta.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, please vote for your favorite team. Remember, we're looking at a best presentation, which includes teamwork, collaboration, and unity. We're looking for the team that had the best content, referencing actual facts, references, their best defense. And we also want you to vote for the best team that was most credible. They were convincing and passionate. Please scroll through the poll and select your favorite team for each of the categories.
All righty.
Okay, we're gonna end the poll. Thank you, everybody.
All right, we'll see the winners in a short while. Sister Mecca?
All right, so now we're gonna move on to point of contention number 2. All right, teams, here we go. You all say you want separation in a separate state or territory since we cannot get along with them. If anyone does not get along, it is Black people. Of people who are killing each other, do not support each other, cannot get along with each other. How realistic do you think all this talk is? Team, you may begin. Before you begin, we will start with team 4. We will go team 4. Yes, team 4. We'll start first, and that is G.I.F, Gods in Flesh. You may begin.
I'm saying, Sister Mecca, how realistic is separation though? Yes, the police are killing us, but we're also killing ourselves over petty gang drama, money, and status. I just feel that if we do separate, it'll be nothing but chaos.
You mean like the chaos that's happening right now? People forming misinformed anti-mask gangs, are people being shot nationwide, and distrusting the government spreading exactly like COVID-19? We've been doing ourselves a favor by separating ourselves from this enemy.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said the black-on-black crime did not happen by accident. It was all by design. There was a psychological study done by Albert Bandura that talks about how children will imitate their surroundings. Now, when you take that and shine light on the fact that the CIA has been pumping cocaine and drugs and guns into our community, in addition to the ever-increasing wealth gap, coupled with Mr. Clinton's crime bill that led to the incarceration of more Black men than ever before, you can see how Black children grow up feeling as if violence and crime is their only answer.
Not to mention the fact that the school system has a history of neglecting Black children. The achievements and greatness of Black people is not as highlighted as white people, if it's highlighted at all. In fact, you should look into a psychological experiment called the Clark-Doll test. This is a direct example of the self-hatred that we have. We are not taught the knowledge itself, so how can we love ourselves?
Okay, that's true. And there are many nuances of racism that continue to plague the subconscious of Black people today. Because we've been conditioned throughout slavery to compete and hate ourselves for our Blackness, the prejudices of colorism, featureism, and even texturism attempt to divide our people. These ideas are still being emulated in the media, in children's cartoons, and reality TV. Like, y'all remember the show Proud Family? They always painted the light-skinned girl as more intelligent and modest, while they would paint the dark-skinned girl as less intelligent and more sexualized.
You're on mute, Sister Jasmine.
Sorry. Thank you, Brother Tockley. Now you see, since God was the one separated, in the Bible in Revelation chapter 18, verse 4, he says, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye not receive of her plagues." Being around our enemy so long, we started to emulate him in his sins and robbing, stealing, and murdering. We have lost our whole identity. We went from being kings and queens into being the white man's Negroes. When you say that you want to be integrated with our enemy, you are saying that you know more than God. Separation is a must for our people, and it can be done. It has been done before. I remember there being a self-sustained Black town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Y'all may have heard of it. It was called Black Wall Street. This is how affluent the business district was. It has its own grocery stores, library, and bank, ensuring that anything you needed could be supplied by the people who reflected our melanin.
And sis, I hope you don't feel like we're gaining up on you or nothing like that. I want you to know that it's all love, and I hope you're coming into more of the understanding now why we need to separate.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I definitely understand now. Separation really is the answer.
Great job, team 4. Great job. Now we're going to move on to team 3, Bara'at The Immunity. Team 3, you may begin.
We need to separate. We were physically freed as slaves, but we are still mentally chained. The main reason why Black people degrade other Black people is because we were never taught how to love. We have lost a sense of community. What is love? I was taught that love is ultimately helping a thing grow into the nature it was created to be. If we were never taught how to love, we can never love ourselves. The proper foundation is needed, and I think a lot that we have a training ground that will teach us how to love ourselves and each other. That training ground is none other than the Nation of Islam, because we were learning what we lost when we were kidnapped 400 years ago. In the Nation of Islam, we get along. We may have our petty differences, but our love trumps it all. Once we learn how to love, we can eradicate this Black-on-Black crime and live together in peace.
Maybe it is true that some of our people have trouble supporting their own. But whose fault is that? That is not our nature. Marcus Garvey's UNIA, the Black Panthers, multiple HBCUs, the NAACP, the NOI, and many more were all places where Black men and women came together to do better for themselves. But that was always interrupted by the slave master, breaking us up with spies, the media, and any other tools they could find. Just look at the COINTELPRO operation, who wanted to prevent the rise of a Black messiah who could unify and electrify the militant Black nationalist movement. So of course our people are having problems with their own. We have been trying to integrate with slave masters who have problems with us. It is time the world saw what can happen when a Black man and woman can grow uninterrupted.
So, Brother Musa, how realistic do you think all that talk is?
Well, it's more realistic to think about a plan to separate than to disconnect from the devil than to think that we can change the enemy and his creations for the better. We have tried to plead, compromise, integrate, march, and protest in every way imaginable.
So are you saying that our future is in our own hands and all we have to do is think critically and responsibly?
Emphatically, yes. Separation entails the divide of two lifestyles or system of doing things. Although we would prefer to operate on our own land that we will claim ownership of, realistically, we don't have the resources to move the compliant masses to a separated territory, clothe, house, and feed all of them, and provide all their basic needs, at least not immediately. Thus, as we maintain or remain confined to the laws of the land, we will be liberated from this poor excuse of a justice system. We will be pardoned from this dysfunctional government and their bigoted laws. We will assemble and spearhead our own government, education, health department, judicial system, and etc. It apparently has no regard for our well-being, so why not just let us have our own and get out of your head? Why not just give us a sufficient supply kit to kickstart our own so we can just be out of your hair? After all, we built this country for you with free labor. The least you can do is give us a decent farewell package.
Excellent job, Team 3.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am, Sister Mecca. And next team up, next response is from Team 2, the Chosen Generation.
We can go?
Begin.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said we cannot get along with them? That just lets me know that you're either Black or other, but certainly not white. And since you're not burdened by the 2020 lenses of white privilege, pop in this Visine and let's see what hell the pale horse has left behind. Slavery, Black codes, rape, torture, kidnapping, colonialism, blasphemy, robbery, child molestation, pedophilia, drug experimentation, medical experimentation, wrongful imprisonments, body disfigurements, trespassing, skinny, burning, lynching, whipping, eating, Black codes, Jim Crow, look, outright terrorism, and we just won't take it no more.
People who are killing each other, the white, brown, yellow, pale, and red kill each other, but you don't say they can't get along. A nation cannot be judged by the minute actions of a few. Despite color, class, and creed, there are conflicts in all communities. You will not determine the stability and success of our nation by the actions of a few. You've just got to admit it to yourself. Black people are getting along just fine. You just hate to see it. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Our unity is greater than an atomic bomb." So I'm sure you can see why we are portrayed as not getting along. Y'all just hate to see us thriving. The very idea of it terrifies you.
During slavery, our people were conditioned to hate our very being. On speaking about Willie Lynch, a slave owner, Brother Nuri Muhammad said, "I put the old against the young against the old. I put the tall against the short, and the short against the tall. I put the light-skinned slaves against the dark-skinned slaves, and the dark against the light. I put the male against the female, and the female against the male." Willie Lynch goes on to state that if you do this for 1 year, the slaves will self-perpetuate this behavior. This deep wound of conditioning went on for at least 300 years. As a result, in today's time, some of our people are still a victim to the conditioned fear, envy, distrust, and light against dark mentality. So I would say the demand for separation is very realistic. If we separate, we will be better equipped to teach our brothers and sisters a love for each other. They will be better equipped to receive the divine teachings with the knowledge that the Black man and woman are God and that all things come from Black. One will have a newfound appreciation and love for themselves. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that our people need to separate from our former slave masters, and we must become an independent nation by order of Allah God. In Message to the Black Man in America, on page 203 to 204, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad writes that we must have some part of this earth to support our people's needs.
Point 9 of what the Muslim believes state, If the white people are truthful about their professed friendship towards the so-called Negroes, they can prove it by dividing up the land with their slaves. We do not believe that America will ever be able to furnish enough jobs for her own millions of unemployed, in addition to the jobs of the 20 million blacks as well. So the $1 million question is, in page 203 of Measure to the Black Man states, the question we have to ask and answer properly is, do we love ourselves and our children? If so, why not build a future for ourselves?
Absolutely beautiful. Each team is doing well, righteous competition. But we have one more team, so don't fall asleep. Here is Team 1, Azarach, meaning blue, brave leaders under Elijah. Are you ready? Begin.
Well, my name is Uncle Tom. Separate from white people. We need white people. Who's gonna take care of us? We can't get along with each other. Sister Maya, Brother Khalid, Sister Naja, and Brother Shafi. What is y'all talking about this separation for?
Well, Brother Tom, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said the gravest handicap is not having the love for self and knowledge of self, which is what our people lack. We have been known to reform the worst in our people, though, with the proper knowledge from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But why are we so successful? It's because we teach freedom, justice, and equality. We all can see that is something this current racist system of government is lacking. But look at this. We are the ones the authorities call when things get out of hand.
Well, Brother Tom, let me tell you something. Separation from black people will most definitely not mean chaos. The killing, the stealing, those things have never been a part of our original culture. Those characteristics were put onto us by the very white people that we feel like we need to survive in this world today. So separation for black people will only mean peace among ourselves, because everywhere whites have gone, they have caused confusion among the people they have encountered. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that separation would be difficult for some because we've never seen ourselves in a civilized state, and that we will make a tremendous contribution to the world once we are free from the ignorance that has made us slaves to false ideas and concepts.
Every second we spend out wrapping our minds behind our unity and separation is another minute that the black and brown dies at the hands of white cruelty. You do not have to worry about us not getting along. Have you seen our Million Man March or our Justice Our Elders movement? Blacks are still starting to come together for the same purpose, justice. According to the Way of Happiness, it was the Nation of Islam that helped build bridges between rival gangs and peace streets to LA gangs. And they're starting to unite. They've been starting to unite since Nipsey Hussle's death through his work and the work of the nation. The gangs listen to and respect the men in the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam is behind the agenda, and there will be no chaos. Now here's Brother Shafiq with the poem.
Me llamo Shafi Muhammad y tengo un poema para ustedes. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, accept your own and be yourself. I have the book right now just off the shelf. Though always engaged in bloodshed, the founding fathers said, rebellion under tyranny is obedience to God. But many of them have slaves. Does that make them a fraud? Tyranny means cruel and oppressive government to rule. But they left out what happened during slavery in school. Many of us don't know their violent history. So to them, it's like blasphemy. So why would we want to separate? It's because of oppression, lynching, racism, and hate. We've had no freedom, justice, or equality. They lynch us in the streets like it's 1803. That's why we gotta separate to save you and me, and live under Islam, the flag of universal peace.
Look at us and through these three other powerful black teams. Even though we're competing in a competition, we came together for one common goal, separation. Presented by Team Azarach, brave
Leaders.
Under
Elijah.
Praise belong to Allah. All right, so is that all our teams? I'm so
That's it.
Let's give it up for all the teams. Can you all unmute yourselves and just give each team?
Good job, all teams.
Wow.
Great job. You got her nerves out, yo.
Awesome job. Awesome.
Bravo.
So proud of you.
Our nation is strong.
Our nation is strong. Yes, indeed. All praises due to Allah. So, Sister Nicola, I know that we're about to hear who our winners are. So if we can get everyone attention, because Sister Nicola, Sister Anita, did she send you the information for our first winning team, or is that Sister Mecca that's going to announce our first winning team? It's going to be you, Sister Anita. Ma'am, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Do you have the information?
Yes.
You do. Oh, so you all get that drum roll going. All teams, let's get that drum roll.
All teams did an excellent job. Round of applause to all of you. However, the winning team for the first point of contention is team number Azarak. Blue.
Team Blue. You went dead. What team is it?
Did I go dead?
You're
hey. Team 1.
Team 1.
Team
Blue. What are you, 3?
Brave leaders under Elijah.
Team 1. Team 1, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Praise be to Allah. So you all give yourselves a hand. And who was the team lead for Team 1?
Khalid Muhammad.
Brother Khalid, what would you like to say on behalf of your winning team?
All praises due to Allah. First of all, I just want to thank my team for actually being there. We practiced a lot, actually, at least like 4 times a week. And I got to really give thanks to all my teammates because everybody was there on time. We was prepared. And I want to give thanks to the Demand for Separation staff. Yes, ma'am.
Praise belong to Allah. So Team 1, just do a shout. Woo, 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 woo. Let's see your hands. Woo, woo. Praise be to Allah. That was absolutely beautiful, Team 1. All right, so Sister Nicola, have you sent that information to Sister Mecca for the point of contention number 2 winner?
We haven't voted yet.
We have not voted yet. Oh, we got to vote. Let's get the voting on. That's what we forgot to do. Sister Nicola, how you going to let me announce Team 1 and we didn't vote for point of contention number 2? All right, let's get our voting on. So, Sister Nicola, are we close to that number?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Sister Mecca, let's do that drum roll.
All right. The team that won point of contention number 2 is team number 1, Azarak. You brave leaders under Elijah.
Boom. Boom. That's
yes,
a slam dunk. Praise
sir.
be to Allah. All right, Abdul's like, dang, I'm going to get her next time. I promise. So, Brother Khalid, again, it's you to speak on how you feel about this success and what you can really share with the other teams in terms of how organized your team was. Please share.
Yes, ma'am. Well, first I want to just say praise be to Allah again. And I want to thank my team, first of all. And I would say that we was very organized. Like, we would be getting meetings set up days before. So we would actually be on time for every meeting. We'll get up early in the morning, certain meetings, certain days. And everybody brought a nice part to the team that helped this happen, including Mr. Jones and Uncle Tom. Had to thank them for joining in. And I just want to give a shout out to all the other teams too. I want to give a shout out. This is a great program.
Praise be to Allah. And the beauty of what you've done, Brother Khalid, is show the creativity that we need to all use when we're doing something. Why not put on all the bells and whistles when we're about to present? And that was some great creativity from all of you that brought in the slides and brought in the questionnaire. Sister Sabria, you did a wonderful job just being the antagonist. I thoroughly enjoyed that. All of the antagonistic comments that were made. Uncle Tom, where are you? Then Uncle Tom is a new member of the Demand for Separation United College Studies. Brother Shafi, you know Uncle Tom, you. Praise be to Allah. Allah has you now. So praise be to Allah for our teams. Praise be to Allah for your works. I know that this is exciting. And as we have shared with this team already, for those who are viewing, I've got something that's really important to share with you all that's going to be even more exciting. The Demand for Separation United College students will be competing, inshallah, for the Holy Day of Atonement with 2 other regions. And so we will be selecting those representative for our Demand for Separation United College students point of contention teams. And we're going to have a fabulous day. It's like drill competition. You be like, oh no, I ain't leaving because we got to still see the vanguards. Oh no, I'm not leaving because we still got to see the FOI. And we want them to be able to say, oh, I am not leaving because this is the representation of the Joshua's generation.